This is Fox 23 News at 5, right to the point. 10 minutes of nonstop news starts now.
A flag flies at half-staff in honor of a fallen hero. Family and friends come out today to pay their respects to a local soldier who was killed during an attack in Iraq. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ann Hughes.
And I'm John Gray. First on Fox, we begin tonight with the wake for Private First Class Nathan Brown, killed last week in Iraq when his Humvee came under attack. Brown was one of 4 young men from our North Country who went to war all together. All 4 were in that Humvee attack. Brown was the only one who did not survive. Fox 23's Nathan O'Leary joins us now live from Warren County with more on the effort tonight to remember a fallen hero. Nathan?
Well, John, hundreds are expected at Nathan Brown's wake tonight, and even more could pay their respects at tomorrow's funeral. For some, Private First Class Nathan Brown was family. For others, a friend.
His laughter, I wouldn't be surprised if laughter went across everybody he touched. You know, because his sense of humor was such that he would try to make everybody laugh.
Still, for others, Brown was a complete stranger. But at his wake tonight, some say those distinctions blur.
Nathan is symbolic, not only for his family, but I think he's symbolic for the state and for the nation.
And looking toward tomorrow's funeral, some say they hope it will be an even larger opportunity to remember this fallen soldier. Terry Perry is from Project Yellow Ribbon, a civilian group dedicated to supporting soldiers and their families.
He's a hero, and he died serving our country, and I have a son in the military, and my heart goes out to that poor family, and I can only imagine the grief they must be suffering.
The procession for Brown will pass along Broad Street here in Glens Falls. The hope is that people will line both sides of the street holding one of these, an American flag with a yellow ribbon attached to it, not only to honor Brown, but other fallen soldiers as well. But whatever the turnout for tomorrow's funeral, Father Barry, who is presiding over the service, says that the healing is only just beginning.
It will take longer for the family and for his close buddies, I'm sure. But other people in time, you know, they will heal up quicker and then move on.
Now, calling hours for tonight's wake are from 4 to 8 p.m. at the Regan and Denny Funeral Parlor in Queensbury. And tomorrow's funeral begins, the mass begins tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. at St. Alphonsus Church on Broad Street in Glen Falls. John?
All right, thank you, Nathan O'Leary, live in Warren County. He says he was molested by a Herkimer priest nearly 20 years ago.
And now the former monk, Randy Swearingen, says he wants an apology from the church. Swearingen alleges Father Charles Celeste had sex with him unwillingly back in the 1980s. Father Celeste did step down from the pulpit back in November because of the constant media attention surrounding these allegations. However, Swearingen says never apologize. Tomorrow, Swearingen meets with Bishop Howard Hubbard to demand an apology and acknowledgement of the priest's wrongdoing.
It involves an apology, which I have not yet received from the diocese. And in order to apologize, they would have to admit that something was wrong. And that's also something I haven't received yet in the 6 to 8 months that I've been working with them.
The Roman Catholic Diocese says it will not comment on any meetings with the bishop.
4 people have been injured when a pit bull goes on the attack in Berkshire County.
Police say they were forced to shoot the animal. The attack happened around 2 this afternoon in front of a home at 388 Peck's Road in Pittsfield. Cops say the dog started attacking a group of people, biting 2 on their feet, and he wouldn't let go of a woman's leg. Its teeth clenched around her thigh. Police finally shot the dog 4 times, killing it. 3 people were taken to the hospital. We'll have more on this story tonight at 10. An Albany child is lucky to be alive after being injured in a fire last night.
Police say the young boy was actually the one who started the blaze. The 5-year-old child was playing with matches at his home at 68 Clinton Street when the home caught fire. It then quickly spread to a house next door before the firefighters were able to get it under control. The boy was the only one hurt in this. He was taken to a Boston hospital with second-degree burns on his arms and his legs. His name is not being released.
A massive fire this morning in Warren County. This home on Marion Ave in North Creek went up in flames. Huge flames and smoke shot high into the sky. The house is right across the street from a school. Firefighters were able to keep the flames from spreading and no one was injured. There is no word yet on just how that fire started.
And Cohoes police have arrested 2 teenagers for arson there. Police say 16-year-old Christopher Kelly of Troy and a 15-year-old who is also from Troy are the ones responsible for setting several fires over the weekend, including the one here at a vacant home on Congress Street. Police say the teenagers also set fire to a couch that was in an alleyway, the flames spreading to a nearby garage. Both of the teens have been charged with arson and assault.
A bumpy ride for commuters in New York City this morning when two trains collide. More than 100 passengers were injured when an Amtrak train bumped a Long Island Railroad train near Penn Station. It happened at a spot where trains switched from one track to another. About 130 people suffered minor injuries. Many were treated at the scene for cuts and bruises, but some had to be taken to local hospitals. The accident caused delays during the morning rush hour. Now, on a day when most of us were out enjoying the weather, a half a dozen families gathered in the bright sunshine in Troy to remember the darkest day in their lives. They met at the Rensselaer County DWI Memorial to honor those killed by drunk drivers.
As Fox 23's Jeff Saperstone tells us live in the newsroom, this is a family, the pain the family will never see go away. Jeff?
John and Ann, it's been a sad few years for four families as their loved ones were permanently memorialized in Troy. All four were killed by drunk drivers. Today, they were honored in a very moving ceremony. Bagpipes play on a somber, sunny day in Troy as family and friends gather to remember the victims of DWI crashes.
Kevin E. King, Nick Pablo, Sudat Punoy, George Strokes.
The list of names on Rensselaer County's DWI Victims Memorial were read loud and clear. One of those killed was Sudat Punai. His wife, Hemwati, came here to see her husband's name added to the memorial.
As they go by, it's harder. When you think about it, it's very hard.
Sudat Punai was killed by a drunk driver in October of 2002 as he was driving to work in North Greenbush.
He was a very nice guy, a wonderful father, a good husband. And to that day when it happened, like the whole world just came right down.
Punai says the pain never goes away, but she's honored her husband's name will forever be etched in stone for everyone to remember.
For the families of the people we honor today, we come together to pay tribute to their memory, to their spirit.
4 more names were added to the DWI Memorial here in Troy. The families of the victims are hoping these the last. Kevin King's name is also added. He was killed in 2000. His only sister makes it a point to keep his name alive.
Having Kevin's name on this memorial remembers Kevin as a unique and vivacious individual.
Individuals that were all taken too soon. The memorial was originally constructed 3.5 years ago. Currently, the entire left side is almost full. Live in the newsroom, I'm Jeff Saperstone. Ann and John, back to you.
Thank you, Jeff. President Bush is on the campaign trail in Pennsylvania today, pushing for what he says is a very important vote.
He's not talking about his re-election. He's campaigning for the Patriot Act, which is set to expire in the next year. As Caroline Shively reports, the president says it's a key weapon in the war on terror.
President Bush headed to Hershey, Pennsylvania to campaign today, not for his re-election, but for the USA Patriot Act. That act is the sweeping law passed just 6 weeks after September 11th. It gave law enforcement greater powers to investigate terror suspects. Some surveillance provisions of the act will expire next year unless Congress votes to renew them.
Before September the 11th, law enforcement, intelligence, and national security officials were prevented by legal and bureaucratic restrictions from sharing critical information with each other and with state and local police departments.
The Patriot Act helped tear down a legal wall built between the law enforcement and intelligence communities, something the administration has been touting in recent weeks.
The administration has been deceptive in its description of what sunsets and what does not sunset in the Patriot Act. Only 5 to 10% of the provisions of the Patriot Act actually sunset. The administration says that they deal with the wall that was erected between intelligence and law enforcement investigations. But nothing could be further from the truth.
Attorney General John Ashcroft says law enforcement has used the act to bring down several terror cells. Others say it's given the government too much power.
As a result of the exchange of information, the kinds of things that happen when the Patriot Act wall goes down, a deputy sheriff is alert to some things, informs the Joint Terrorism Task Force.
But now the agents basically have search warrants in their own pockets. They call them national security letters. This is something that I think endangers all of our rights and our privacy.
A report by the 9/11 Commission says the Patriot Act is widely praised by FBI agents, but it also said there is widespread confusion over what it actually makes legal. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Time to talk about the weather now. We could not have asked for a better day today.
It's like we jumped over spring right to summer, didn't it feel that way?
Yeah, it did.
Is it going to hang around, though? Chief Meteorologist Noah Francis has the Fox 23 first forecast. Hi, Noah.
Well, hey there. At least the mild temperatures will be sticking around this evening. You know, we just missed a record. It actually got into the low 90s in a couple of spots today, believe it or not. Yeah, temperatures spiked in Albany of 91 degrees just a couple of hours ago. Currently in the mid to upper 80s. Look at this, though. You notice the clouds have been thickening up and some rain showers moving in from the west. These rain showers are very light, so we'll see just a few scattered light rain showers this evening. A better chance as we get closer to midnight, down to 67 at 10 o'clock. We'll have more weather for you coming up in a bit.
Thank you, Noah. The Albany Tulip Festival just a few weeks away now.
We've got a preview at 5:16. Plus, mid-size cars put to the crash test. We'll tell you which ones did the best at 5:14.
And if you drive on this busy stretch of road in Albany, you're going to need to find a detour this week. We'll have all the details you need coming up next.
This Fox 23 news segment is brought to you by Keeler Honda, Route 7, Latham. Now, more local news on Fox 23 News at 5. Right to the point.
Warm temperatures like the ones we're loving today signal the start of something really big, road work.
And that usually means delays or detours. Crews are now working on a busy stretch of road in Albany, Manning Boulevard. It was closed to northbound traffic between New Scotland Ave and Mercer Street today. It reopened just a short time ago. Now, tomorrow and Wednesday, more paving will be done on Manning. This time, the southbound lane will be closed from Western Ave to New Scotland. A signed detour will be set up using South Allen Street.
Traffic is running smoothly again in Bethlehem. A portion of Pictaway Road was closed last night after authorities feared the bridge above that road would collapse. Here's why. A chunk of the bridge actually fell off when a train crossed over it last night. Part of the bridge was actually blocking the road. Today, CSX crews did some repairs on the bridge. DOT came in and inspected it to make sure it was safe, and the road below is reopened around noontime.
When they crash test cars, the experts typically run them into things head-on, but that's not the only way accidents happen.
That's why the mid-sized cars are now being tested for a side impact crash. How'd they hold up? Well, Julie Vallese has results in tonight's Consumer Alert.
All 10 vehicles tested with standard equipment failed the Insurance Institute side impact crash tests. Only manufacturers who asked for a second test with optional equipment earned passing marks.
We've got two cars, the Toyota Camry and the Honda Accord, when they're fitted with their optional side impact airbag systems that do provide good protection. So these two manufacturers have been doing their homework.
Chevrolet has been paying attention as well. When fitted with a side airbag curtain, the Malibu passed. But a side impact airbag doesn't guarantee good protection. Both the Hyundai Sonata and the Saturn L are equipped with standard side impact airbags. The Institute said the Hyundai didn't protect enough of the torso, and the Saturn's airbag wasn't big enough to protect all of the dummy's head.
Just having a side impact airbag isn't enough. You've got to make sure that the side impact airbag is integrated with the vehicle structure.
All the other vehicles were tested without side airbags, and all are rated poor by the Independent Insurance Institute.
The side impact airbag option is a good value. There's no question. It's your life, after all.
Manufacturers who returned our calls, including Hyundai and General Motors, all pointed out their vehicle safety ratings for other tests, expressed how severe the Institute's side impact tests are, but said it is important to collect safety information from a variety of sources to improve overall vehicle performance. A voluntary standard by car manufacturers may help in improving safety. Half of all vehicles will be equipped with side impact airbags by 2007, 100% by 2010. In Ruckersville, Virginia, I'm Julie Vallese.
We are now less than a month away from the Albany Tulip Festival, and that means it's time for a preview. The Blues House Rockers are just one of the many performers who will be entertaining the crowds at this year's Tulip Festival. Albany Mayor Jerry Jennings unveiled the new Tulip Festival T-shirt at City Hall this morning. He also announced the calendar of events for this year's festival, which includes all sorts of food and fun, as well as the crowning of the 2004 Tulip Queen. The 56th annual Tulip Festival will take place May 7th through the 9th. In Albany's Washington Park.
It's a lot of nice tradition there. The scrubbing of State Street's always fun to see them come down in the Dutch costume.
Heritage.
It's a lot of fun stuff.
A teen in Russia has already showed a lot of strength, not with his muscles.
With his hair? Are you kidding me? More of the hair-raising feat at 5:29.
And people wasted no time soaking up today's warm spring weather. Noah tells us how much more we can expect this week. His full forecast is next. It's a great day for a swing. People of all ages flipped over today's amazing spring weather. These kids left their jackets home while spending time at an Albany playground. Adults also enjoyed the warm weather, doing some golfing while soaking up the sun. And it's not a bad day at all to give your car a shine. People took advantage of the warm, dry weather and went to the car wash.
I hope the people golfing actually were supposed to be off today. They didn't do the whole calling sick thing.
Or they just got caught.
I think a couple people here called in sick today. I can't confirm that, but I didn't see enough shorts in the video either. More shorts. You know, it snuck up to 91 degrees today, just missing a record high temperature. Unbelievable, but well, the party's over. We're going to start to cool things down starting tomorrow. Let's take a look at what's happening right now. We have a temperature of... well, it's looking like 85 degrees in Troy right now with a mostly cloudy sky. Schenectady, you are at 86. I want you to look at the humidity values here. The air is extremely dry. Dew points only in the 30s and 40s today. 15% is the humidity in Schenectady. Albany still at 88 degrees. The pressure falling. Southwest breeze at 14 miles per hour. All right, there it is. Snuck up to 91 degrees today, just missing tying a record of 92, which went back to 1976. No precip yet. We do have rain showers moving into the area. So why did it get so warm? Well, temperatures were in the 80s, but well, we had a situation where we had downsloping winds. The terrain west of the metro area is high. There's hills out there, you know. And when the wind's blowing out of the west-southwest, the air sinks and the air compresses and it warms. So we actually saw that temperature shoot up a few degrees, up into the low 90s in a couple of spots. But we're still in the 80s. Look off to the west. It is a little bit cooler. We got some 70s off to the west. Humidity level's a little bit higher there. The air is still very dry. Some showers moving in from the west. Notice the clouds thickening up as you head outside right now. It certainly is cloudier now than it was, say, 5 or 6 hours ago. And here's a band, an initial band of some rain showers. Now, these are very, very light. In fact, there's a chance that some of these light rain showers will evaporate before they even get to the ground. But they're trudging on off toward the east, so you may have to dodge a couple of those showers now this evening. There's another band of showers and some heavier thunderstorms up here in Canada, just getting ready to move in across the border, or at least across the Great Lakes. And looks like these will primarily stay up to our north and west. So there may be some thunder up around Adirondack Park late, well after the sun goes down. But as far as any severe weather threat, very minimal, if not non-existent now this evening. So that's good news. Just some light rain showers to deal with. You can see those on microcast. We'll take things up to midnight. Now we'll take a little bit of a closer perspective. Look what happens overnight. Showers, clouds will decrease overnight, so by the time tomorrow morning rolls around 7 a.m., we are looking at, well, quite a bit of sunshine starting to break out. And then as we get into the noon hour and beyond, as we head into the afternoon hours here tomorrow, we'll be looking at abundant sunshine, but we'll kind of see a brisk northwest wind flow, and that will tend to keep the temperatures down a little bit tomorrow, so it will certainly be cooler. Tomorrow morning we'll start out in the low 50s, but look at our microcast temperatures here in the metro area for the afternoon. We're going to see high temperatures, most areas only getting into the low 60s, so that's a lot cooler than it was today, obviously, but still pretty nice. So the rest of this evening, it's going to stay mild. It's going to stay breezy. We're going to see a few light rain showers. We'll drop down into the 60s. No threat for anything too rough as far as thunderstorms get tonight. That's good news. In fact, you may not even get any thunderstorms where you live. A few showers early tonight, and then things will start to quiet down. 50 for the low tonight, 62 with a whole lot of sunshine for tomorrow. A pretty good looking day. And here's your extended now. Wednesday, we do have another system moving in, so that'll give us another good chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Wednesday looking kind of wet. Temperatures the rest of the period for the rest of the week look seasonable. So I think once we get through Wednesday into early Thursday, Ann and John, I think it looks like the rest of the week is looking pretty good. I still can't get over today's high. 91. Could you imagine if I would have been bold enough to predict that on Friday? I would have looked like a star.
And, you know, John was saying 30 degrees lower for tomorrow.
Yeah.
30 whole degrees.
30 degrees lower, but it's not going to be that bad. You got a lot of sunshine, and even though the temperatures are cooler, it'll still feel very nice.
You know, no one remembers Friday on Monday, so you probably could have said, no, I predicted this.
Yeah, I called it all the way. Yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Noah. Right. If you like sports competition, Boston was the place to be today.
The Yankees were in town closing out Game 4 of their series with the Red Sox.
And runners braved that heat that Noah talked about for this year's Boston Marathon. Rich Becker will have all the results when we come back.
This Fox 23 news segment is brought to you by Keeler Honda, Route 7, Latham.
Let's be honest, for Red Sox fans, it's been a great weekend. For Yankee fans, not so great. But as the series ended on this Patriots Day at Fenway, what's been decided? Absolutely nothing. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. I on the opposite shore shall be Check that. At it, one if by air. Yankees jumping out to the early lead. Jason Giambi with the one if by air. The solo home run, 4-1 Yankees in the third. But Boston rallies in this one. Jason Varitek, his second home run of the series. A solo shot to the bully cuts the lead to 4-3. Yankees starting to implode. 4-4 in the eighth. Gabe Kapler laces the single to shallow left. Dave McCarty walks home. 5-4 Boston. Keith Folk on in the ninth to seal the deal. Gets a little help from the usually not so great fielder Manny Ramirez. Nice catch up against the monster. Boston takes 3 of 4 from the Evil Empire with the 5-4 win.
Oh, it's unbelievable just to pitch in a game like this magnitude, you know, and to take 3 out of 4 from these guys and them leave town with their heads, hopefully down. It's good for us.
It's just frustrating to lose a game that you have a 3-run lead a couple of different times, but that's this ballpark, nothing's ever safe.
The other part of Boston celebrating again today, dominated by the Kenyans. The Boston Marathon won by Timothy Sharagat, the men's in 2 hours, 37 minutes. Top local finisher John Casey of Rensselaer, 144th overall, 2 hours, 51.56 seconds. Women's world champ Catherine Ndurba won for the third time, 2:24.27. Top local Kimberly Messino-Duraco of Amsterdam, part of the Team Utopia group we introduced you to earlier, 3:17.42 for Kim. And April Coughlin, former Fox 23 intern, finished 37th in the wheelchair division, 2:18.24. Marla Runyon not at Boston today, but she will be at the Freihoffers. Two-time defending champ committing to the National 5K on June 5th. Runyon, who is legally blind, says she loves the race, especially running through Washington Park and hearing people call her name. Ohio State's Maurice Clarett is out of the NFL draft for now. Federal court making that ruling today. The decision also affects USC receiver Mike Williams and 6 other underclassmen. A mixed bag for the New England Patriots on Patriot Day. The good, Corey Dillon, that's getting the All-Pro running back for the Bengals for a second-round pick. In 7 years, Dillon ran for over 8,000 yards, but was unhappy in a reduced role in Cincinnati. On the bad side, corner Ty Law arrested last night after allegedly leading police on a car and foot chase. Law was pulled over by Miami Beach police for traffic violations. He was booked and released on $1,500 bond. We got lots of baseball coming up for you tonight and plenty more. We'll see you at 10:52.
Thank you, Rich. At age 11, a Russian boy pulled a 4-ton jet fighter using his hair.
3 years later, he's found a way to top that stunt. The 14-year-old strong man set out to pull 2 35-ton tram cars with his hair. First, he tied a rope to his long locks and connected them to the cars. Then he crawled along the ground, pulling the tram 3.5 yards along a Moscow track, breaking a local record. Hard to believe there was a local record.
I know. You'd think the hair would just come out.
Or break, yeah.
Yeah, strong hair.
It is.
You should get a shampoo commercial, I think,
You can get a great endorsement.
You're right. Full hour of news coming up at 10.
We'll see you then. Right now, stay tuned for Access Hollywood. Good night.
Have a good night.